What were you saying, Kenny? And tell them what else? Okay, I do feed you. Stop that line. Ooh. Well, y'all know what time it is, people. You know what time it is. Okay, so we're gonna go through the garden. I had some new discoveries. Kenny was not one of them. All right, people. So I'm getting tired of breaking these seed heads off these onions, y'all. I'm getting tired of doing that. I do about 1 or 2 of them every day. And it's only on the sets that I bought. These ones over here that I grew from seed aren't doing it. Onions usually will go to seed the second. Here's a nerd. Onions will go to seed the second year, and those sets were clearly grown 1 year. Grown to a small size, stored, and they trying to go to seed. So, can y'all tell me where Kenny's going? Kenny, are you about to do what I think you're about to do? Yep. One pee-pee. Anyway, let me get this here. That's the third one. I'm just walking and finding them, people. But yeah, you don't want them to start growing the seed on you. They'll start putting the energy into the seed head and stuff. There's another one. Look, I'm gonna entitle this video "After the Rain." Y'all know that Betty Wright song, "After the Pain." Anyway, yeah, that's like it rained, and maybe that's why so many of them seed heads sprang up. But anyway, this fig is growing so fast. That whole branch is this year, and this only leafed out like about a month ago. That's like 5 inches worth of growth. That's 6 inches worth of growth. I mean, it's just like y'all can see where the bark starts on that. So that's about 5-6 inches worth of growth. So yeah, everything's doing good and growing good. Lemongrass is looking good. That's how much rain we got, like 3 or 4 inches, looks like. I tried to root some blackberries. I don't know if they're gonna make it. The stems ain't looking too good. I actually forgot to water them after I rooted them. Chrissy, where you going? Oh yeah. You coming to do the daily news report? Okay, so these are my muscadines. I got a few leaves on them, and then there's some new growth in there. Let's see here. What else I got going on? All of this stuff is pretty much the same. We got peanuts coming up though. There's a peanut there. There's some peanuts somewhere else too. I planted peanuts randomly, just all through. This was the experiment. I got some greens from somebody had some green stems actually. They had just had the stems. They had already picked the greens and ate them. They gave me the stems because I wanted to do an experiment. If y'all don't want to start from seed, you can't take collards and just take the stems and shove them in the ground because all this is new growth. Apparently those have taken root, which I knew that they would do that because just about all brassicas will do that. You can take broccoli, and after you cut the florets off, take the stem and shove it in the ground, and it will start growing florets again. But you can see this is pretty much going to seed. I think this was going to seed when the guy actually pulled it. All of those leaves are new growth. All of those leaves are new growth. Yeah. But yeah, the cabbage here is going to seed, so I'm gonna pollinate that. I'm gonna try to isolate this. I want that red acre cabbage to do its thing by itself. I don't want it to cross with the collards. It will cross with the collards. I may purposely pollinate some of that and cross it with the collards to see if I can make red collards. We're gonna see. But anyway, so over here's the green patch. I've already had about 4 or 5 strawberries today. Yeah, I can see every day is some. Those aren't quite ready though. If you flip them over, they would be kind of whitish on the other side. But you can see I got a lot of strawberries coming in. I'm thinking about getting another variety to go out here. Let me see here. Wow. A lot of activity. What's today? Tuesday? A lot of cars, a lot of people. Anyway, but just look how pretty this thyme is. I don't know what happened. This thyme just took off. It's flowering and everything. The other one is flowering, but it's not as thick and pretty as that one. Let me see what else. I'm gonna show y'all the not so exciting stuff first. My tomato transplants are doing good. They've grown about, I don't know, 6 inches, maybe, in about a week. This one's grown. This one shot up real quick. I'm thinking that's black cherry, how that's shooting up. In a week, it's just shooting up everywhere. That's a volunteer there. Over here, squashes are looking good. I'm gonna spray neem today. I'm gonna try to keep the squash bugs off of them. This amaranth, I already knew I was gonna do this. Amaranth there's something that loves to eat this stuff. So you see a bunch of holes in it, but it's pretty normal though. All of it isn't that holy. Some of that might be from roly-polies. Not sure, but I'm also gonna thin that some more. I have thinned it some, but as time goes, I thin it because what I do is, see these big tall ones? If you look in here, you see all these little short ones? You pull all the little short ones down in here because those are gonna get shaded out and not make it anyway. So if you wait a little while, it's actually easier for the thin. And we got peanuts in here too. The amaranth is gonna get tall and the peanuts are gonna stay short. So the peanuts will help shade the ground and keep the ground moist. That's my tactic with that. There's peanut there, but there's peanuts randomly coming up in here. But when you see these short ones down in here, I'm gonna pull all the little short ones. All these ones that are way lagging behind everything else. And then like the tall ones like these with the bigger leaves, I'm gonna leave. So I need to come through and thin some more, but I'm not gonna worry y'all with that. This Romanesco is going to seed. I'm gonna collect seeds. This is the only little head I got. I tasted it and liked it. I assume this other stuff is gonna make heads. I guess it's gearing up to make heads. That's what it seems like it's doing, but it's taking a while. It's taking a good little while. I'm gonna have to spray some BT though. I'm gonna have to spray some BT. But y'all can see how big the elephant garlic. This one, I guess, is gonna make some of this stuff got leaned over by the wind and the rain. But yeah, the comfrey's even competing, trying to outgrow. But look at that volunteer black cherry, biggest tomato in the garden. I'm telling you, always your volunteers. I almost say, just drop seeds wherever you want them and wait for them to come up in the fall. Because them going to be your best plants. The lady cream peas are starting to look how they supposed to look. It was looking kind of at first. This one grew a good 4 inches from the rain. That one's growing decently. Tail Radishes still doing their thing. Still making all the pods. Y'all see all them pods in there? All these pods right here. I have been eating them, but when they get big like that, I'm just going to let them go to seed because they're too woody and hard. But you can harvest them pretty much at any time. But you can see how long and pretty they get. All of these. You can just see them everywhere. They're just dangling everywhere. I see what they call them, rat tails. They look like rat tails hanging off everywhere. Comfrey. Woo. They ain't ready for me. Okay. Felix, you're the last critter that hasn't been seen. The last of the Mohican. Felix, say something. Fine, just bathe. Anyway, my pomegranate here. I don't know. This is starting to look, I don't know, like it ain't gonna take. I don't get it. I don't know. I don't know. It was looking good, and then it rained, and I don't know what happened. Um, the rain drug some of this down to the ground. I can't even remember what brassica this is. And some of this stuff seems like it just wants to go straight to seed. Like whatever this is, I've never seen a brassica with a white petal. But I can't remember what this is. And it's just going straight to seed. It's not even making what it's supposed to make. It's just going straight to seed. So I'm gonna hand pollinate those, isolate those, and try again with the seeds that I saved. Seems like this was I can't remember what this was, y'all. These are pink-eyed purples. They don't look as good as the lady cream peas. None of these peas are growing as fast as these other ones. I don't know. I got some cilantro and some other random stuff down in there. These are iron and clay, and those over there whippoorwill. So the iron and clay, they're starting to grow. They're starting to look like something. It's kind of warming up here. That okra's trying. Two little okras in there. They're trying. I planted some peanuts down in there. This kohlrabi has fallen over all into the aisle. So aisle 3 has a blockage. Anyway, these are more tail radishes. They're just now getting their tails. They call these, see, rat tails are also called dragon tails. But these don't seem to get as long. It doesn't seem like. But I'm going to go ahead and call them the same plant. Look at that switch short. It took 6 months for it to do something. But then when it finally did do something, it took off. I think I showed all this. These are the picket peas. They're looking really good. They're looking really, really good. Growing. They'll start vining up this thing here in a minute. But now I came over here to show y'all what I really wanted to show y'all. So remember when I told y'all about the seeds and stuff and getting seeds from people that save seeds? Yeah. Let me say thank you to P. Smith Gardner and Talita, because look like your girl may actually have some watermelons this year. I have never had what I'm about to show y'all happen to me ever. So, Kenny, you gonna be like my little Vanna White? Are you gonna point to the things I need you to point to? Kenny's just. So, these are the watermelons from Benin. This line here. And I want to show y'all something. Can y'all see that? I have never had a female bloom this fast, ever. I don't even have a male. That's the sad part. Is I don't have a male bloom to even really pollinate this. But then that's the ones that Talita sent me. Now let me show y'all. I'm gonna come around here. This is one of the watermelons that Penny sent me. Another female bloom. I've never had female blooms before the male blooms. And they haven't completely opened up yet. I'm hoping that maybe tomorrow some males will open, but I don't see any. I really don't see any, and I haven't seen any. I just so happened to come out here today after the rain and saw those blooms, but I don't see any males. Like I can tell some are gonna come on these growing tips at some point. So those actually the first females may not actually get pollinated, and these are just now starting to vine. Some of these are at least 2 feet already, but these are just now starting to vine. No signs of flowers, no signs of anything. These are the Bradfords that I bought. All the rest of these watermelon seeds were seeds that people saved. and gave to me. So I am moreover impressed with that. I mean, absolutely impressed. So let's see, make sure my gooseberries are still on. Gooseberries are still dangling. We got hang time on the gooseberries. I never did check to see if these on this bush actually made it or not. You gotta be careful with these things. They got some vicious thorns. I see some over here. Can y'all see that? The danglage. Okay, let's see. And then look at this. This cutting is actually pushing mulberry fruit. I think that's what mulberries do, though. I think they push fruit first and then leaves, if I'm not mistaken. So that cutting is gonna push fruit, and it actually looks to be female fruit. I think those are the cuttings that I got from my neighbor's tree that I know is a female that actually makes fruit. So that's good to see. That cutting go ahead and roots, then I know I'll have a female, because the males won't give you fruit. They'll only give you catkins that have pollen. And I've come to find out that thing that I thought was, I'm not sure if that tree is completely male or male and female. Mulberries can be male and female, but I know those catkins I saw before were simply males. They weren't females. They're like, so there wasn't going to be any fruit. They have pollen and they fall off. But the blueberries are still looking good. I know it's going to take a little while for them to be ready because there's so many on the bush. These might be ready faster. Those are a little bigger. But Blackberry Central. I moved the last of my figs. I didn't move the Violette de Bordeaux, but I moved the LSU Golds. I moved them over here to Fig Lane or Orchard Alley, whatever I'm going to call this over here. But yeah, I moved them right here. And they're doing fine after the rain. So, let me see. I have to be careful. I almost had a little accidental slide in there. Like I almost killed myself earlier. But the potatoes are looking just fine. Potatoes. Eggplants. Potatoes empty. Something needs to go here. I think I'm going to put peppers there. We're going to experiment with peppers in the shade garden. I don't think they're going to do well. So I'm not going to put something that's really prized there. On the bee front, nothing, but I took out 2 frames. I think it didn't have any space in there. It was too tight in there, so I took out 2 frames. And maybe if it had space, and I know what they'll probably do, but they'll probably build comb on the lid. But that'll give them room. When a swarm comes, they kind of need enough room to actually go in there. And I think by having 5 frames in there, that wasn't going to get it. It's still the beginning of May. It's getting kind of toward the end of swarm season. May not catch nothing. If I don't, it's all good. There's always next year. My little brassicas right in here is looking straight. They're growing. The other ones over there are growing that I showed y'all. The other ones are growing better. The ones further down. Let's go down here and check on the grapes and the swimming pool. They're building something over there. I'm going to go be nosy later and walk over there and see what it is. Like a street over there building something. I don't know what they're doing. Or they're doing something, some type of construction. I hear a bunch of nailing and equipment and stuff like that. So, this I've definitely got to cut down. This is called Smilax. And it has these big ginger-like rhizome roots. And believe it or not, all of this whole damn near area is that stuff. And it's so huge I can't dig it out. But what I can do is I can keep cutting these off and eventually it'll starve the roots because there'll be no leaves to do photosynthesis. But I wanted to show y'all this. So in the morning, this little area gets sunlight that comes down through those trees over here. And so yeah, this is how you get away with growing in the shade. You find where native stuff grows really good. And over here, stuff used to grow really good. And I was like, how? I didn't know it was getting morning sun. So this gets morning sun for maybe 3 or 4 hours, and I had no clue because I wasn't coming out here early enough to see it. But you can see over there how the Virginia creeper grows really good too. So you can sneak stuff in pockets of your yard if you pay attention to where your light and stuff is. So this may not look like it, but it is actually growing. These leaves are new. Some kind of worm came over here before and bit this stuff down. And it bit off, chewed those leaves off that stem. That made me angry. But it is growing. It's growing quite a bit of new growth. So I see another Smilex I need to cut down. So that's something to put on the to-do list for today. My little wild muscadine that I planted over there, it died on me. So I'm sure there's some more muscadine roots out here, but I just have to find where they are. So a couple of leaves have dropped in here, so don't mind those. But this is basil coming up. I just know what basil looks like. That's not basil, that's clover. And then I'll be honest, I forgot what this is, but that's coming up. And I had a bunch of real skinny stuff, this like that coming up, but it looks worse for wear now. And a lot of this other stuff is I don't see it coming up. I planted a whole lot of different herbs in here. We'll see. That's about all I can say about that is we'll see. So yeah, let's get skedaddle. We're at 21 minutes on my garden tours. All this walking. The grass is mowed though. What little grass I have. Let me see if any of these beans. I threw down a bunch of Great Northerns and pinto beans over here. Just randomly threw them down. I was gonna see if any of them came up. I don't see them on. Yes, I do. Something ate that one. A squirrel ate that one. It looks like squirrels are. I don't know. I don't think any of them are gonna come up because you see a bunch of them right in there, and they don't look too hot. But I didn't water them. I didn't do anything. It was just spur of the moment thing. Experiment. This is new. I don't think I've shown you guys. I think I showed them before, but I didn't know what they were. So this is moringa. So thanks to Chuck Weezy for them seeds. It's like all the seeds people give me. Those are the ones that work out. This, of course, is pigeon peas from Dan. I think this is either that Togo black fruit. I planted Togo black fruit and the yam bean or jicama that Dan sent me. Talita sent me the Togo black fruit. Dan sent me the yam bean. But it's probably yam bean. It's probably a jicama coming up. Ground cherry from Clausen World. That's the eggplant. I bought that. This is purslane, just random purslane. I planted guava in those. None of those seeds have come up. And it wasn't guava that I bought from the store. I think I'm going to do like Dan and just buy guava from the store and plant it. I don't know if those seeds were old or what. I think I see 3, like 1, 2, 3 Scotch bonnet seeds coming up. It's random purslane coming up in there. That purslane got in my soil. And it is what it is. But yeah. So yeah, the lemongrass, I need to poke a hole in that pot. There's no hole in that pot, so it gets full. These are all random grocery store peppers that I started, and I got to show y'all my new starting technique for peppers because I'm not going to plant peppers in the dirt and start them in the dirt anymore, and I'm not going to recommend that people start peppers in the dirt anymore. I'm done with that. It's too, your stuff don't always come up, and I found a better way where your stuff 9 times out of 10 comes up. So this was one of those rocket tomato roll things and some turmeric. That I had turmeric in this before. I must have lost one of the thingies. I thought I got them all out. One of the little rhizomes. And then here's another little turmeric coming up, but that's also rocket tomatoes. Those are some type of cherry tomato. So those are coming up. I need to handle all these weeds. I need to weed whack all those weeds around there. But the bananas, they're looking beautiful. This little cluster, that cluster there. The bananas are looking fabulous. They're growing great. So it's still really early, so I know they're going to get big really quick because they're growing really fast. And that's encouraging. 25 minutes, hurry up. Tree collards, got to get these in the ground this week. If I had to kill me and 12 other people, they're going in the ground. And I think I'm going to plant them right around there. I think they'll get enough right around this tree right here, around the base of this one. But I got to keep all that stuff cut back. Put the tree collards right there. Pineapples. You will notice this at first. Your tips will turn brown, but I assure you, in the middle, those are new leaves. Those weren't there when I planted these. So yeah, that's it, y'all. That's everything. It's kind of soupy over here. I'm not really liking that. But anyway, it is what it is. But yeah, these, I know these would benefit from being in the ground. They're trying to grow in this pot. They're trying to kind of take off in this pot, but I know that's restrictive. They're getting taller, but I know they wanna take off and they wanna branch out, and I want to get y'all some cuttings because a lot of people have been asking about cuttings. And tree collard cuttings are quite high. I think people are price gouging on that. But yep. Oh, I didn't really show y'all the persimmon. The persimmon did drop 2 persimmons. You know, persimmons will do that. They will drop fruit. They did drop 2 persimmons, but that one's gonna start to open up here in a minute. There's one there. I'll be seeing persimmons in different spots at times, but that one probably got pollinated already. It's usually sweet ants be on these. But the red vein sorrel is looking good. The potatoes in these containers. This one is grown in straight leaves. These potatoes are doing way better. There's wood at the bottom, but it's more leaves than in the other two. And these potatoes are doing the best. The pepper grass is also looking pretty good too, even though the rain keeps laying it down, but that's not gonna affect anything. The greens, some of this green sorrel is growing so pretty. Some of the other stuff isn't, but I don't really care. That's why I said sometimes don't worry about it. Your stars will take off. When you plant stuff tight, your stars will take off. And the other ones will, they'll falter and they'll weed themselves out. That's why I said sometimes people just doing too much work. You might have one little lone pear in there. Y'all probably can't see it. It's like right there. But yeah. That's what we got going on out here. Everything's looking pretty good. The peach, I will say the peach did drop a lot of fruit. Not sure why. But it is holding like 4 or 5. So I'm not going to get that many peaches this year. But that's okay. Yeah, I don't know why I did that, but it is what it is. I'm not going to panic over it. Oh, one last thing. Look. So that orange tree, so, you know, I went through the ice, and I know some people went on and pulled their stuff because it probably was taking too long. They didn't really see, man. I kept doing a scratch test up high on this, up here. So I'm going to see if I can show y'all. Now, see, now this isn't green up here. But watch this. Let me see if it'll focus. Y'all see that? It's green. I don't know if y'all can see that real good. Try to. Don't you just love it when cameras misbehave? This don't want to focus worth nothing. The light's horrible. Anyway, it's not focusing, but it's green there. And you can even see a little new growth coming out right there. And just above the graph now, there's just so many new branches and new growth coming on. So I apologize for the lighting, it's horrible. But yeah, just wait on your trees sometimes. You might think they dead. Now if you do a scratch test real low and it's not green, because apparently all this up here, that's still a little green. So I mean, that's why I said, man, See now that little spot ain't really that green. It's still a little green though. But yeah, I was doing scratch tests all over trying to see. But I was still scratching up high and seeing green, so I left it. But you just gotta wait. These citrus, they don't move fast. I don't really think any fruit tree moves fast, but the kumquat though, you can see where it had a branch here that died. It just grew another one, grew another one. There's just so much new growth in different places. Down here, new growth, and out here on this tip, new growth. I think this is new growth. This branch, that whole branch there. Out on the tips is new growth, and I'm not gonna worry about pruning it. I'm not gonna worry about doing none of that. I'm gonna let it do what it want to do. I fear if I prune it, I may throw it in the shock, and a lot of people feel like, oh, just prune it. Yeah, sometimes you throw your stuff in the shock, and it's growing new foliage because it's in shock, but it's not really fixing the problem, and it actually ends up throwing you back later on, because then you wonder why your citrus always drops all its leaves and all this stuff. Mine has never dropped all its leaves except for in this ice. That's the only time. Right after the ice, it dropped all its leaves. But I've never had citrus do that before. So yeah, good news on the orange front. We got some figs. Look at that, y'all. Camera don't want to stay focused, but we got figs. They coming in, y'all. They coming in. They wait for nobody. They wait for nobody. Look up in here. See figs. I got some good growth on these trees. I never really noticed how pretty these trees are until I moved them. That's crazy, ain't it? Sometimes you get garden blindness. You look at something so much, you're not really even looking at it. You just, But anyhow, y'all, I'm gonna let y'all roll, and thank you for watching. This video is way too long, 32 minutes. But anyway, until next time, see you guys later.